So one of the first things I wanted to ask you is what is the difference as you go up the levels, as you go from English level to your world level to your pound for pound level opposition?
I think obviously it depends on the boxer and it varies on each boxer. For instance, Ismael Barroso, I believe, was a world-class puncher, a huge puncher, but he didn't have the world-class feet of a Lomachenko, which, well, I don't think anyone has the feet of a Lomachenko, but what they'll do, I think at world-class, they will carry some world-class, whereas fights at an English title level, you might get a fighter who does something well, or they'll do everything reasonable, but nothing will be seen as world-class. I mean, listen, for Barroso, I don't want to be disrespectful because it's more than that, but that world-class power got him out of jail a few times, or it put the fear into opponents where it would allow him to beat some top-level fighters. But for me, the big difference in fighting these world-class fighters a lot of the time was defence. And I always remember, I think it was Floyd Mayweather said it. I know he says some crazy stuff, but I think 9 times out of 10, the person or the team with the best defence will win. And I think as you go up the levels, that defence becomes so important, both your defence and prizing open that fighter's defence.
Yeah. And what are the subtle things, because defence is subtle, it's a game of inches.
Yeah.
What are those subtle things that you found the best in the world done?
Yeah. Well, I think, obviously, with your likes of Lomachenko, Linares, who I think are 2 future Hall of Famers for sure, it was their defence, but I think a lot of people presume with the defence, they're just thinking, oh, hands, you know. No, your feet, your lateral movement. I mean, Linares had fantastic rhythm, but how he'd move and, you know, trying to trap him down, he'd be moving, and then he'd explode with a fast combination. Yeah. And then before you could reply, before I'd think, right, I'll catch and I'll counter, he'd be gone. He'd be gone again.
Was that with the angles, the pivots and
angles,
stuff?
pivots, like you say.
If you're trying to get a shot off here,
so with Jorge, he'd be there. So you're me, you're pushing forward. Yeah. And then he'd be there, then all of a sudden, ping, ping. So you're thinking, right, I'm going to go. And then all of a sudden, you just whip him in fast, bam, 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 bam. And go again. Then you're looking to reply. Jorge's gone. Yeah. He's gone, yeah?
Just a subtle step out of range.
Just a little half steps out of range. You see people, and I think, Tim, you've been lucky enough to be at the World Championships recently. Yeah. You watch some of those fighters' footwork. They make you miss just by a matter of inches. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're not making you miss by a lot, but they're making you miss. Making you just fall short. Yeah. I think I always remember I trained alongside, for me, one of the greatest amateurs we've ever had on these shows, in Frankie Gavin, and he just had this art of just making you miss. He was a southpaw, and he'd make you think you're in range, and you'd throw, and he'd just make you fall short, and ping, he'd just make you fall short. And I think, again, people don't realise that. That's his defence where just his feet, his lateral movement, making someone fall short. That's defending. For me, I defended a lot with my hands, so I'd be coming forward, you'd be throwing, I'd be tucking up, until I'd use my arm defence an awful lot. That's me, but I think a lot of people just presume defending is shelling up. It's not, it's the full package, it's your feet, it's your lateral movement, your dipping, your side to side. I'd bring that in a little bit as well, but I think your defence is the full package where your feet are so important in defending.
And it's the psychological effects of that. So if you're throwing your jabs and you're just falling slightly short,
it's not nice. It's not like, listen, if you come here, I'm probably not speaking the best about myself, but if you're hitting something, it feels a little bit better.
Than
hitting nothing. So if you made some contact, or even if you just shell up, sometimes you might get it with some of the journeymen. So if you're punching me, you're there. Sometimes you'll punch through that guard. Yeah. You'll punch through that guard. I mean, listen, everyone's got a winky right type defence where you're hitting me there, and then everything's just hitting the gloves and clearly seen. But there will be things that get through. But if you're falling short and missing, it's not a nice feeling. It's not a nice feeling whatsoever.
And it prevents you from doing your work. You have to think about different ways to actually close that gap.
Yeah.
And I think, you faced probably the best I've ever seen at making you miss with your feet in Loma.
Yeah.
Linares is absolutely phenomenal. But Loma's the best I've seen. Yeah. And as you spoke about the World Championships, what I've always noticed with those elite fighters, and it seems to be southpaws, they seem to have the trickier feet.
Yeah, they do.
They're anticipating their movement, so they'll get their foot in position. So as I say, I saw a very good Uzbek called Umataliev.
Yeah, brilliant fighter.
And he would get his foot in position,
slip,
read the shoulder twitch, so that shot would come.
And he'll come underneath,
But he will know that this is coming after. And then as soon as he sees, it's instant. As soon as that right hand goes,
it's coming there, it'd be underneath and it'd be round.
Yeah, they set their escapes up before they even let their shots go.
So clever. And I think what you'll say, I always remember one of the coaches, Johnny, was here, and he'd had to say he drowned him with the front foot. And I love it where Alexander Usyk, that's what he does. Lomachenko, that's what they do. Yeah. I remember fighting, I didn't probably go on long enough like that where I wasn't exhausted, but I always remember Tony Bellew fighting Alexander Usyk. And he was in the shape of his life, he was fit as anything, and I think, he said, I remember him saying, after 3-4 rounds, he said, I was absolutely goosed. Yeah. And it weren't because he'd not prepared, but you've got someone there, and he's dipping in, he's dipping his tees in, and he's making you think you're out of range, and you're thinking, should I react?
Yeah, you're going like
this.
Did
you react? And I done that with Loma, you're there, and the next thing, my hands are all over, and he just got that range of make it fainting, and you're reacting to feints.
I'll throw the right hand, and then it just makes it.
Yeah. He'll just make him miss, and then if he's on the outside, sometimes you'll see him. They'll either whip it up here, they'll bring it round. Yeah. Whatever it is, and that's a horrible shot. What you just said. You see it from both stances. Once that backhand misses, that is a horrible shot. Yeah. It's a very good shot, but it's not a nice one to take.
No, you don't see. You're not prepared for it.